Apple is currently developing the Apple Vision Pro 2, also known as Project Alaska. Reports suggest the company is working on various next-generation Vision Pro headsets, including a budget-friendly model. The Apple Vision Pro is scheduled to have an initial release with limited availability. Today, we'll delve into these latest updates regarding the Apple Vision Pro, so make sure to watch until the end to hear all about it here first. Let's get started. Project Alaska and the sophisticated Vision Pro 2. So, for the past few months, we've been hearing bits and pieces about Apple working on a brand new second-generation AR/VR headset. Details have been pretty scarce, but thanks to Mac Rumors, we've got some fresh info on what this next Vision Pro might look like. This new headset, which Apple call Project Alaska and also goes by the name N109, looks a lot like the first Vision Pro that Apple showed off at WWDC 2023. It's got that same smooth, curved look, and the buttons are in the same places. But here's something new. They're planning to change up where the speakers go. So it sounds like Apple's not just making small changes. They're keeping what we liked about the first one and tweaking things to make the next version even better. So, for the second generation model, those rounded areas that used to hold the speakers might be gone. The new design shows the headset with flat, smooth sides all the way down. And there's some talk about a mysterious audio accessory, which could be an external speaker, mentioned in the Project Alaska documents. They've also been playing around with different designs for the top vents of the headset. One idea was to keep them the same as the first model, but another idea has these little clusters of holes that look like they could be for speakers. So, it seems like Apple's experimenting with some new ideas to make the audio experience on the next Vision Pro even better. We'll have to wait and see what they end up choosing. More updates on what Apple's planning for their second generation Vision Pro headset. This time, we're talking about the back of the headset, the straps. The new straps are going to be simpler and remind you of the flat straps you see on laptop bags or backpacks. There's been some buzz that the next Apple headset might be cheaper than the original Vision Pro, and this new strap design seems to support that idea. Simpler straps are probably easier and cheaper to make, which could mean a lower price for us when we buy it. But that's not all. Alongside the new audio stuff, it looks like Apple's also thinking about an external battery pack, kind of like what they had for the first Vision Pro. And as for the tech inside, the second generation Vision Pro will keep a lot of the same cool cameras and sensors that the first one had. We're talking about a compass, ambient light sensor, magnetometer, and gyroscope, all stuff that's already in the iPhone. For staying connected, it'll support Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5, and something called ultra-low latency audio, or ULA for short. So Apple's not just changing the look, they're keeping all the good tech and maybe even making it more budget-friendly. And this is a list of hardware components of the second generation Apple Vision Pro 2 headset. 2 micro-OLED displays. 1 true depth camera, 4 computer vision CV cameras, 2 RGB cameras, 2 low light infrared illuminators. Semi-automatic interpupillary distance, IPD adjustment. Compass, ambient light sensor, magnetometer, accelerometer, gyroscope. Right now, the word is that Apple's second generation headset is set to go into the product validation testing, or PVT, stage in 2025. That's a fancy way of saying they're going to check it over and make sure everything's perfect. This means we might be seeing the new headset hitting the shelves late in 2025 or maybe even early in 2026. Now, this scoop from MacRumors source has been pretty spot on with Apple info before. But just a heads up, this is all info from before they start the big production, so Apple's plans could shift a bit before they actually start making loads of them. As always, we'll have to wait a bit to see what they've got up their sleeve for the final version. Multiple next-gen Vision Pro headsets, including affordable model, reportedly underway. 2 reports from Asia are telling us that Apple's already working on not just 1, but 4 different second-generation Vision Pro headsets. Yep, you heard that right. 4 new versions. DigiTimes says that one of these will be the next version of the one we know about, and another will be a more wallet-friendly option. As for the other 2, well, it's still a bit of a mystery. Now, here's something interesting. The more affordable Vision Pro is going to cost a lot less to make. We're talking about half the cost of the first one they made. What does that mean for us? A much lower price when it hits the shelves. It looks like they're planning to start making some early versions of this budget-friendly headset in the latter half of 2024. As for when we can buy it, it's looking like the second half of 2025 is the earliest. So, Apple's not just sitting back, they're busy creating a whole family of Vision Pro headsets, including one that might be a bit easier on the bank account. A different report from Interface News has shared that Apple's already chatting with its suppliers about the next two generations of the Vision Pro, their big goal, to cut down costs. This means they're looking to make these headsets more affordable for us, hoping that'll boost their sales down the road. Interface News also spilled some beans on the first generation Vision Pro. They say that Apple's gearing up to start mass production this December, kicking off with around 400,000 units. And for 2024, Apple's got their sights set on selling about 1 million of these headsets. So it looks like Apple's not just making these headsets cooler, but they're also working on making them easier on our wallets. Apple releases 6th beta of Vision OS, fine-tuning the Vision Pro experience. Apple released the 6th beta version of Vision OS. That's the software for the fancy Vision Pro headset. Now, not everyone can try this out. It's mostly just some developers who are using these headsets to make sure their apps work great with it. But here's something cool. Apple is hosting these Vision Pro labs all over the world. Developers can go to these places, try out the Vision Pro for themselves, and even get tips and help from Apple's own engineers. They're really making sure that everything is top-notch for when the Vision Pro finally comes out. Speaking of which, the Vision Pro headset isn't expected to hit the stores until early 2024. That means Apple's got some time left to keep tweaking and improving both the headset and the Vision OS software. Apple Vision Pro. Delays, training, and limited initial release. In his Power On newsletter, Gurman mentioned that Apple still has a few things to sort out, like how they're going to distribute the headset, and they need to do some more testing on it. Plus, Apple usually has a big event in March, and it sounds like they're planning to show off the headset and some new apps at that event. So, for those eagerly waiting for the Vision Pro, it looks like you'll have to hang tight a little longer. But March isn't too far away, and it sounds like it'll be worth the wait. Word is, this headset is so complex and high-tech that Apple's had to scale back how many they plan to make. They're now expecting to produce fewer than 400,000 units in 2024. Initially, it's going to be available just in the US, but later in the year, folks in Canada and the UK should see it too. Some of Apple's retail employees in the US have been lucky enough to go to Apple's headquarters in Cupertino for some special Vision Pro training. They're going to come back and teach all their store friends how to help customers with this new gadget. When the Vision Pro finally hits the stores, the big Apple stores are going to have special areas just for trying out the Vision Pro. The smaller stores will have a couple of units for people to check out. We all know that Apple released the 6th beta version of Vision OS. That's the software that makes the Vision Pro work. They added some new videos to help users get started, which means they're getting really close to finishing up this headset. So keep your eyes peeled for more updates as we get closer to the launch. Are you planning to buy the Apple Vision Pro? Feel free to comment below if you are planning to buy it and share any thoughts or questions about it. I'd love to hear from you.